This is Valley News Live at 10.
Those of you in Fargo waking up early tomorrow to get errands done may want to lay in bed a bit longer. Detours and closures are expected because of the Fargo Marathon. But as Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero explains, people living on the marathon route say they are unfazed by the road troubles.
Saturday morning, it's off to the races for thousands running in the Fargo Marathon. On top of other roads being closed due to ongoing construction projects, the marathon is expected to create more traffic congestion. City traffic engineer Jason Baker says he understands the mounting frustration over closures.
Yes, there's road construction already going on, and the marathon definitely adds to the road impacts, but it's one day.
Baker says no one should be parking their cars overnight along Broadway.
Broadway, downtown, up to 4th or 6th Avenues North are going to be closed for the most part of the day, starting tomorrow morning to the afternoon.
In Fargo's Clara Barton neighborhood, where runners will be making their way through on 8th and 9th Streets, homeowners already got the memo and have parked on side streets. Most of the people I spoke to in this Fargo neighborhood say they don't care if they have to find somewhere else to park. They're just excited to have the runners going through their area, and they even make a whole event out of it.
My typical food, the caramel rolls, the buns, the ham, the fruit, the boiled eggs, and coffee. Of course, we'll need a lot of coffee tomorrow if the weather forecaster's right.
LaVon Rustad has two sons who are lacing their running shoes Saturday. Her neighbor a few doors down says her husband will be making omelets in the morning.
I appreciate the stories. Everybody that's out there running, almost all of them have a story and why they're running, and I'm inspired by that, and it's great, I think, just to come out and cheer them on.
Both enjoy the buildup of the Fargo Marathon and don't mind the traffic headaches for one day. In Fargo, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
The city's traffic engineer says 2nd Street in downtown Fargo should open up by 10 in the morning. He says they're hoping to open every street gradually as more runners make it across the finish line. We now know the names of the two men killed in what's believed to be a murder-suicide at a bar in northern North Dakota. The incident happened at the Star Bar in Ryder last night. That's southwest of Minot. The Ward County Sheriff's Department says surveillance video shows 49-year-old Daniel Peterson and 32-year-old Thomas Houston fighting. Authorities say Houston then shoots Peterson, leaves the bar to walk to his vehicle, then shoots himself.
It's just not a good thing. I mean, if they can't figure out how to take care of their problems without murdering anybody or a suicide, then there's bigger issues.
The investigation into why the shootings took place is ongoing. A karate instructor is accused of secretly videotaping children changing clothes at a martial arts school in North Dakota. 23-year-old Adler Shear was questioned after a 13-year-old girl found a cell phone that was recording in the dressing room at Bismarck ATA Martial Arts. Court records state Shear admitted to recording 3 children younger than 14 in the changing rooms. Authorities say Shear also admitted to inappropriately touching an 11-year-old. He is now facing 4 felony charges, including gross sexual imposition. Dramatic video shows the moment a Minnesota 4th grader nearly gets hit by a driver who failed to stop for a school bus. This video from January shows Zumbrota, Minnesota 4th grader Ambrielle Johnson crossing the road as a driver swerves, nearly hitting her. You can see the school bus with its stop arm extended and the red lights flashing. The 20-year-old driver was found later that day. He pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor, failing to stop at a school bus stop arm.
My little brother was late for the bus, so he didn't see the bus driver tell us to come past, but I did, so I went across.
It is Minnesota law that a driver must stop at least 20 feet from a school bus that displays red flashing lights or a stop arm. Since the start of the year, 102 people have died on Minnesota roads. This includes 17 pedestrians and 3 motorcyclists. The 4 main factors that contributed to the loss of life are speeding, not wearing a seatbelt, alcohol, and distracted driving. Now drivers and their passengers are being reminded that the summer months are the most dangerous on Minnesota roads. That's why extra seatbelt enforcement will run from May 20th through June 2nd throughout the state. It has been more than a month since a quadruple homicide in Mandan, and now some businesses are wondering what they can do to make their facilities safer. After receiving numerous calls, the North Dakota Safety Council held violence preparedness training. They say it's important to monitor who is coming through your front doors.
You really should consider securing your door. I mean, if you have 10, 15, or 20 people that come to your door on a daily basis, there's no reason for that door not to be locked.
Instructors also suggest companies invest in a continuously monitored camera system. We told you yesterday about a West Fargo couple who says they were turned away from an area hotel Tuesday night. Staff told them local residents aren't allowed to make last-minute reservations due to the possibility of illegal activity, including drugs. And staff say that the policy is on a case-by-case basis. We talked with Fargo police, who say they don't know if drugs are statistically a problem at hotels in the valley, but that hotels are a common place for those kinds of activities. And that's why police say they offer yearly hotel safety training, telling employees the warning signs to look out for. Police say hotels are easy targets for drugs and prostitution because most are placed near interstates, making it easy for anyone to come and go. And they say once you let that type of activity creep in, it starts to grow. Fargo police say they haven't had a safety training yet this year for local hotels, but usually hold the class around this time of year. North Dakota's second medical marijuana dispensary is expected to open in Grand Forks on Wednesday. Strive Life is on the 1800 block of 13th Avenue North. In order to get inside, a patient or caregiver will need a registry identification card. Dispensaries in Bismarck and Williston are under construction. Now to the escalating trade war with China. This time, it's a 25% tax on more than $300 billion worth of Chinese imports. So what exactly does that mean for your wallet? Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer lays out what could be costing you more and when you should buy things to avoid a potential price hike.
Your cup of coffee, the milk in your cereal, even your perfume could cost you more. And that's not all. According to the National Retail Federation, toasters, mattresses, cleaning supplies, and diapers are just some of the products that are at risk for price hikes as a result of President Trump's proposed new round of tariffs.
This is now direct-to-consumer products. These are toys. This is food. This is clothing. This is baseball bats. Things like that you wouldn't even think about.
The good news, a lot of these products wouldn't see a huge price increase. Most foods like lettuce, potatoes, and eggs could go up by about a quarter. Tea and coffee is also on the tariff list, which means your $12 bag of coffee could cost about 15 bucks. But it's not just food. According to the National Retail Federation, 42% of all clothing sold in the U.S. is imported from China. That means a kid's shirt that typically costs 10 bucks could go up to about $12. So what should you do? Financial advisors urge you to buy these things now, like back-to-school clothes, instead of waiting for the fall. Reporting in the studio, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Melanie. The National Retail Federation says the average household would spend an additional $2,300 each year if these tariffs happen. And as the U.S. may be on the verge of a trade war with China, the Trump administration today took steps to end another one. The White House is lifting tariffs on steel and aluminum imported from Mexico and Canada. The tariffs started in March of last year. They amounted to 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum.
That deal is going to be a fantastic deal for our country, and hopefully Congress will approve the USMCA quickly.
The deal calls for the tariffs to be lifted before Monday. The suspects charged with strangling a pregnant Chicago teenager to death and then cutting her baby from her womb were in court today. Clarissa Figueroa and her daughter, Desiree, were ordered held without bond today by a Chicago judge. The judge said there was significant planning involved in the murder of 19-year-old Marlon Ochoa. Clarissa's boyfriend was also ordered held without bond, with the judge saying he helped conceal the crime and tried to destroy evidence. Police say Ochoa's baby remains hospitalized in grave condition. Missouri is now the latest state to pass highly restrictive anti-abortion legislation. The bill banning abortions at 8 weeks of pregnancy passed Missouri's Republican-led House today. The measure includes an exception for medical emergencies to the mother, but not for rape or incest. Missouri's Republican governor is likely to sign the legislation.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
And here's a live look outside the Valley News Live Storm Team Skycam Network shot in Fargo. Mostly cloudy skies, dry for now, but rain is approaching and will stick around for a while. Let's take a look at the current temperatures around the region. We're at 55 up and down the Red River Valley with lower 50s out toward Jamestown and Devil's Lake, and mid to upper 50s into Lakes Country, into northwestern Minnesota, into the lower 50s as of right now. With the winds a little breezy to windy, we are having wind speeds of 15 to 30 miles per hour from the northeast to cool direction, pumping in cooler air from Canada. Let's take a look at the satellite loop. Mostly cloudy skies across the region as of right now. We do still have some light shower activity from Carrington to Devil's Lake and a line just north of Fargo into northwestern Minnesota out toward Bemidji, but the bulk of the moisture is making its way in right now out toward Jamestown and points off to the west. A light to moderate rain shower right now. Showers and thunderstorms making their way into the Edgeley, Ellendale, Oaks area, approaching the Lidgerwood area, and we have a thunderstorm with some lightning and some heavy rain approaching the Lisbon area, and most of the moisture is back here into portions of eastern South Dakota. It's making its way further north, and all this activity will make its way into the Southern Valley and into Lakes Country going through the overnight, when we could see a heavy and steady rain with some thunder possible. A couple low pressure systems making their way through, and they will keep the chance of rain over us through most of the weekend, along with a cool northerly flow, and temperatures definitely be below average for this time of year by around 15 to 20 degrees. Here's how it looks on the hour-by-hour forecast, with the heavy and steady rain making its way through during the overnight and going through the morning hours on Saturday. We do have on and off showers possible that will last through the afternoon and through the evening, especially in the southern half of our viewing area. Mostly cloudy skies. It'll be breezy to windy. High temperatures near that 50-degree mark in the Fargo area. Winds from the northeast to around 15 to 25 miles per hour with higher gusts. And for tomorrow afternoon across the region, highs ranging from the mid-40s to low 50s, depending on where you are. And looking ahead to the forecast, overnight, Saturday into Sunday, we still keep the on and off rain showers, especially in our southern counties. And going through the day on Sunday, it starts to taper off. It'll move away off to the southeast. We will see a clearing trend by the late afternoon on Sunday, and we should be back to partly cloudy to mostly clear skies by Sunday evening, with a nice Monday in store. Here's the photo of the day. It is called Planting Time in Perham. Thank you, Ben, for this one. We'll use it in the background of the 7-day forecast. There's the rain, the clouds, the wind, the cool air over the weekend. Temperatures into the lower 50s. 64 on Monday, partly cloudy skies. A good chance of some rain on Tuesday, windy, a high of 58. 62 on Wednesday. Chance of some showers lasting through Thursday and Friday, with temperatures back into the mid-60s.
All right, thanks, Justin. Later on Valley News Live at 10, a salmonella outbreak spanning nearly 24 states has left over 50 people sick. What's believed to be the cause of the outbreak? Next.